You found the STIHL National Championship Air Races presented by Reno Tahoe.
Welcome to the desert here, Reno Tahoe, Nevada. And this is it, the center of the universe for air racing, especially on this one-of-a-kind week, the STIHL National Championship Air Races. I'm Tommy Sanders, proud to be here with Rob Lowe, providing all the analysis and so much enthusiasm for an event that is worthy of enthusiasm for anyone who's interested in aviation, anyone who's interested in racing. This will appeal to you because this is a one-of-a-kind racing format. In fact, it's the only closed-course pylon racing, sanctioned closed-course pylon racing in the world, Rob, and we're going to enjoy a day of it today.
Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. Good morning, and man, it is so exciting. You can see on the screen there, we've got some Formula One racers ready to go. We have absolutely the perfect day again, just like yesterday. Chamber of Commerce weather here in Reno. The folks that put this on did a great job ordering that, and we are excited to get it ready to go. Let's maybe we can go back and look at what we did yesterday to get here.
Yeah, we're getting ready for Heat 2A, but this was 1A. This was racing from yesterday. This is the gold class of Formula One racing. These tiny planes that don't let them fool you. They can do some tremendous eye-popping racing out here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really small, and like we said yesterday, you really wear these aircraft. They're very small, they're very quick, they're very nimble. We'll talk about the specifics of the class here later, Tommy, but this race yesterday was really a close one. We had Justin Metters ended up being coming up towards the top there, and you saw here's a good shot of very, very close racing side by side yesterday.
Yeah, Justin Metters and Jim Jordan, race number 54. Justin Metters, race number 34, put on a heck of a show.
There you can see a good example of the passing to the outside. We'll talk more about that later, but here you see two competitors. I mean, just all the way around the course, they were right in each other's hip pockets the whole day. It was quite a race, Tommy.
Absolutely, Justin Metters, the defending champion from 2018. Not the defending, but the 2018 champion.
There he is
right there, yeah. Race number 34, great story. Justin Metters, and picking up where he has left off 2 years ago. So great to be back after 2 years, and man, what a thrill to watch Justin Metters in action.
Yeah, he really flew the course well. His plane was on point, and here you can see him right at minimum altitude, accelerating right through the checkered flag, and then the climb up to land there at the end. It was a great race, Tommy, all the way around.
The speed for Justin Metters in that win right there was clocked at 240.110 miles an hour. He is, of course, going to be the top qualifier in this field of 8 who's going to race in Formula One Heat 2A, the second goal race of the meet for this very popular racing discipline here at the STIHL National Championship Air Races.
There's a good shot of race 79, Justin Phillipson from Vacaville, California, and no strings attached. He was our second place qualifier yesterday at about 227 and some change miles per hour. And there you see Kent Jackson, race 27, and once more, he's out of Topeka, Kansas.
Again, we're just getting ready to get them warmed up a little bit, and we'll be doing 8 laps around our course here. That's Wade Ron, race number 81. That's the sleeper, another Cassett, gray, yellow, and white. Steve Temple in race number 52. Feisty from right here, just down the road at State Line, Nevada.
You can see there, Tommy, the crews are beginning to leave the runway. So that means we're getting really close to racing here. And we'll catch up on some of the other competitors here as we get going. We looked at the first few there. Let's talk a little bit about this class. You can see it's a single wing monoplane aircraft. They're limited to 166 square feet. It's fixed gear. This is actually one of the oldest racing classes. They traced their lineage back to the 30s. They're descendants of the original air racers here in our country. And in fact, it's the only continuous racing class that we have. 65 years with the same basic rules, and we'll talk about those rules here in just a minute, but let's take a look at the course that we're going to run here today. We fly 8 laps, and 8 laps that happen on our 24 or just under 25 mile an hour course. You can see the altitudes there, minimum altitude of 50 feet, max altitude 250 feet. When they take off, they're going to all take off together, Tommy. It's a horse race start, if you will.
Yep.
These aircraft have a minimum of 5 gallons of fuel, and nobody really carries any more than that for the weight, so they don't have fuel to fly around, so they take off, but they do have an oil warm-up lap.
Right, they have enough fuel to do that.
Yeah, exactly. They have enough fuel to run the race, but not to go hold and warm and line up and come around like we see in some of the bigger classes.
Exactly.
And all of these aircraft, Tommy, have the same Continental 0200 4-cylinder engine. And that's the engine that you'd see in your basic Cessna 150 trainer. In the Cessna 150, it's about a 100 horsepower engine. But racing here, we've got a smaller prop, 54-inch prop at about 4,500 RPM, making 160 RPM. And our fastest racers are really going to push up to near 250 miles an hour in these airplanes. The Silver class, about 180 miles per hour. So we had the Silver class run just a little bit ago before you and I came on the air. It was live streamed here, and some of our folks saw that race 54 that you talked about, James Jordan, from yesterday.
Right, yeah,
was in that
he
class.
raced in that one. They said he had some issues. He was going to drop down in class, and he absolutely just demolished the field there. So he's getting ready for a rapid move back up into the gold class.
Absolutely. So it's important to remember for our fans that the qualifying times early in the week get them into the gold, silver, and bronze groups. But as we get into the early races, your times in that continue to allow you to move. So if you're in a lower class and you do really well, you can pop up to the next class above. Same thing, if you're at the bottom end of your class, there's a chance somebody could pop up and beat you. So it is truly the fastest group that flies in each of the classes. And when we get these, like today, the gold pairing of 2A here, really part of the fastest motorsport on the planet. And here we go, Tommy. They're all taking off.
From our standing start, 3 abreast in the front row, 2, and then 3 in the back row. Right in the center of your screen is our number 1 qualifier, Justin Metters. Race number 34 from Mineral Wells, Texas.
And out in front of him, kind of coming out of the middle of the lane, was our second place qualifier, Justin Phillipson, in race 79, that green, yellow, and white aircraft. Tommy, you can see they as they head around that first pylon, they are flying our smallest course here. It's just a little over 3 miles and 6 pylons, so they get around it pretty quick. But just like all of our other classes, you have to pass on the outside. So that pole position is important. One of the really important things to remember about this class is they have a fixed pitch prop. So what that means is the crew and the pilot have to make a choice. Do I want to get off the ground really fast, or do I want to have a better top-end speed? So you really saw that play out between race 79 and race 34 right up the top, and you see that on the screen here. 79 and Justin Phillipson, he really got off the ground quick, and he's out front. But you can see there, race 34, Justin Metters is beginning to play. His prop is coming into play, and his top-end speed's trying to catch up. But he's working that longer track around the outside. But look at that. Great side-by-side action between 79 and 34 here, Tommy.
Yeah, great to watch these strategies in play here in this racing at the highest level here in Reno. There's some racing going on at the back. I believe that's race 52. And race 81. It's Wade Ron and Steve Temple.
And here we jump back to the front, Tommy, and you can see Justin Metters now as they make the turn around that last pylon, come down the home stretch. Justin is out in front. Wow, that is just a classic example, Tommy, of that difference in that fixed prop. You know, I like to tell folks it's like riding a bike. You pick what gear you're going to start in. If I'm going to start in that really high gear, I'm going to start slow, but once we get rolling, I'm going to come flying by you, and that's exactly what we saw Justin do here.
Yeah, it feels good to get off to a great start, have that clean air ahead of you, but Justin's playing the long game. He's wanting to be faster than anybody else once they get at altitude, at full speed, into the race after the warm-up lap.
Absolutely, and it's really important as we get deeper and deeper into the weekend and closer to that gold national championship medal. They keep tweaking things. They keep finding little places. We heard yesterday the description of a micronaut, right? And so we've got the micronaut. Just everybody's trying to tweak everything they can. Here's a great shot of Justin Metters. Again, out front, he's beginning to extend his lead over our second-place aircraft, Justin Phillipson. But you see now Justin Metters beginning to catch some of our lap traffic as he's going around, and you can see the speed difference there as he heads into those first couple pylons.
Flew a perfect race yesterday in our 1A competition. And this is rinse and repeat again, as you might say, for Justin Metters, a very talented pilot from Mineral Wells, Texas.
Yeah, and you think about it, Tommy, this class, we talked about it, tracing their lineage back into the 30s. They really had their first real race under these rules in following World War II. They developed it in 42 and 43, and they flew after the war. Probably the most famous historical race is Cleveland in 1947. There's a direct lineage to what you're seeing right there in that airplane with Justin Metters. Now today, see the shape of the wings a little different, a lot more composites in use, but the same basic rules are in play with that engine and that fixed prop. So it's really, really cool to see that historical connection.
And that's part of the whole theme here at this special week at the STIHL National Championship Air Races. You got tradition and tech kind of coming together. We get a look into the past. We also get a look into the future, and some right here in the present, some fantastic racing.
Yeah, the other thing that's really interesting about this class, we talked about them being small, Tommy. They have a minimum weight of 500 pounds, which really is about half the weight of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And we talked about wearing this airplane. It really is tight. I got the chance to fly the virtual reality simulator in the hangar the other day, and wow, it was so cool. But man, you have the feeling that you're just strapped into a cocoon. And
yeah,
and
there was not
awesome.
wiggle room in that thing for you or anyone else who was doing that virtual opportunity there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You got the hang of it, though. You did well.
Yeah, we had a couple laps there that were really cool. I was got the hang of the pylons, and it was fun. We had a really good time. We really appreciate the folks down there in the Formula One class being so hospitable, and they're so generous. And man, they just love to have people come by and talk airplanes with them. There's another good shot of our leader as he continues to stretch out his lead, Justin Metters. Race 34 in Mineral Wells, Texas. Not far from my hometown, Tommy, actually.
Yeah, right there west of Fort Worth. Justin Metters just flying the perfect race, getting the optimal conditions to do exactly what he does best, and that is go fast and fly his line perfectly.
Now we've got some other action around the course where they're beginning to spread out. Most of the places that you see aircraft are close together are really just passing lap traffic. So for the most part, Justin Metters is really showing you what it's done here. You can see him headed down through the back part of the farther northernmost part of the course. And he's headed for pylons 4, 5, and 6 here.
One issue that's playing in the background, this is an important race, nevertheless, no matter what happens this week, though, but we are expecting some weather changes tomorrow. Heavy-duty winds, and there may be a worst-case scenario. We may not get in some of these races, some of these next-level races here. So he is putting hay in the barn, so to speak, that may be needed at the end of the week. We hope, we trust that on Sunday the conditions will be better. We will get to have our final gold race, but you never know what's going to happen. You don't want to take your eye off the ball just because it's early in the week.
Absolutely, and Tommy, that's a great point. That makes these races ever more important. So, fans might think, well, Justin Metters out front, he'll just pull the throttle back and just cruise and take it home. But in reality, his times need to stay up there, because if we get one more race or something, this does all play into, and if those subsequent races cancel, these races play into who becomes the national champion.
That's right. You got to think about all that, the team, and how they prepare for each race, and what the strategy is for each and every race here.
And that's really interesting part of how the whole scenario is set up here at the fastest motorsport on the planet, Tommy. With the qualifying and then these initial races, it's all set up to play into one and following the other, and that's how aircraft and why aircraft bounce up and bounce down. So we have them grouped here in the gold class, and if for some reason they don't get the rest in, this could be the final race. Now, we're not expecting that. We don't think the wind's going to come up today. That's worst case. We're expecting pretty heavy winds tomorrow, and then maybe a little more diminished on Sunday with a chance of showers on Sunday. But, man, nothing like today. It's beautiful here today, Tommy, and look at this racing from our camp out in the desert. That is just a spectacular shot right there.
White flag lap for Justin Metters, the last lap as he brings it in. And you can't find anything wrong with his effort today. No one would quarrel with his strategy, with his execution, or any of it. Just another superlative performance from the great Justin Metters.
Absolutely. Checkered flag there, and a great race by Justin Metters. He's such an interesting story, Tommy. He doesn't have the use of his legs from an accident, and he has converted and modified that aircraft. That everything that the other pilots are doing with their hands and their legs, he's doing all with his hands. He has all hand controls, motorcycle-related throttles, all kinds of really awesome adaptations. And what's awesome about him, just like any of this racing, anybody can come do this, Justin has proven that you can overcome any hurdle and be a world-class racer here.
Inspirational story, and we have followed this story for several years now, and this is his second. The 2A race, let's take another look at it. In the gold class of Formula One, Justin Metters with the slower start. You explained prop selection has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the whole piece, but I'm sure that played into it, and you saw race 79 jump out to the early lead when we watched him take off on that first shot, Tommy. You can see here he held that lead all the way around the first lap, and here's where Justin Metters is up to speed now, and he's making hay coming around pylon number 1. And there you can see him on the outside. Still not quite caught him as we're finishing lap 2 here. But there it is. There you can see the speed difference now, Tommy. The total package, prop, engine, all together. Justin Metters, it all came together for him, and he made the pass past Justin Phillipson, and it was just stretch it out from there all the way home.
Again, Justin won the gold medal back in 2018 with the speed of 239 miles an hour. All the work that's gone in the intervening 2 years, that speed is faster now as we come 2 years later, both in the first race and in this one, I expect.
Absolutely, and there's the checkered flag for him, and here you see a great shot of race 79, Justin Phillipson coming across the end at the finish line as well. Great camera work by our team. And Justin Metters is probably the leading favorite at the moment. You see him here in the unofficial results where he finished first, Tommy.
Justin Metters, number 1, unofficially. Justin Phillipson, unofficially, in race 79. Second, Kent Jackson, race 27, and third.
You're watching the STIHL National Championship Races presented by Reno Tahoe. You'll find the full show on Fox FS2 and FS1 from February to July.